Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's Daily Recap is for Wednesday, June the 28th, 2023. Wednesday, June the 28th. Well, Sonny talks to Ned about making him an offer he can't refuse because Ned says, "Look, I did some research on you last night. Mm, and I learned a lot about you." And Sonny's like, "Yeah, a lot of it's true and a lot of it's not." Now, Olivia and I go way back, and I don't want you going out of town. And he goes, "Oh, so what you gonna do? Break my kneecaps if I want to go?" He goes, "No, but I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse." And Nina's looking like, oh, because she's trying to get rid of him, right? So Sonny says, "Look, I know a lot of local indie record companies here in Port Charles, and I could introduce you to a couple of labels or a label and get you signed, get your career going around here." He goes, "Well, how could you guarantee they're going to sign me?" He said, "Because if I introduce you, they're going to sign you." It's like, oh, okay. And he says, "So, huh?" But then Sonny gets a phone call, and it's Ava frantic that Avery is missing. But I'm going to get to Avery in just a few minutes. First and foremost, pool sighting. Now, Mac, it's interesting. He's not as toned as last year, but for an old man in his mid to late 60s, looking good, Mac. I said Mac Scorpio. Looking good, honey. that's what that's what that's what Felicia says. "Oh, Mac, you look so good." So anyway, I said, "Look, he's really trying to hold it in for the camera, and they didn't show him coming out the pool, but that's okay." Because Martin Gray was unbuttoning his shirt until he saw Mac, and he goes, "Ooh, no, second thoughts, these sun rays, unhealthy." Right? He didn't want himself to be shown. So I said, "There we go. Pool. I love summertime in the pool, right?" So we have Brooklyn. She goes to work, brings Maxie some lunch. Maxie's assistant quit, and she's got all kind of stuff all over the place. She says she can't keep up. Now, Brooklyn, what was her position? Was it social media or something? Because she was kind of like an assistant person. So what? She's going to end up working closer to Maxie because Maxie is so swamped. You know, Maxie has to get up and go to research and development because they're swamped. So that gives Brooklyn an opportunity to put her flash drive in and steal the Deceptor files because Maxie was in the shared drive. And she was showing Brooklyn some of the stats, how they can't keep that product on the shelf. So when she jumped up to go to R&D, she didn't log out of the computer. So Brooklyn, when she leaves the room, takes out her flash drives and copies all those company files. And I'm like, see, Tracy definitely has her committing crimes. And how's Chase gonna have to react to that? As Brooklyn looks at him and says, "Yeah, I I did, but Granny made me." Oh, my goodness gracious, right? I don't even want to hear about it. So, what I'm not going to dive into, Mac and Felicia were at the pool because Lucy told Felicia, "Bring him here." You know, I'm not going to deal in really too much of any of Lucy's storylines because, for one, I can't stand Lucy. I can't stand the character. She never had any consequences with all the danger, the absolute danger she put everybody in over the Victor Cassadine saga. So for Lucy, I just don't have nothing for that character, nothing. So you know what? While y'all doing comment corners, you could say, "Hey, today Lucy," because no, I can't. She doesn't deserve my time. That character, I won't do it. Now I may comment a little bit on Martin, but Lucy, So anyway, on to other things, right? Diane comes over. She just came from the court. The judge handed his decision on her fine. She slides the file over, and Carly looks at the number, and Jocelyn's there, and she says, 5 million? See, Carly? Oh no. Had you not sold your hotel, which was worth more than that, you'll have, you know, you and Olivia are at odds because Olivia would lend you 5 million, but you guys are at odds right now. And so Josh is like, well, look, ask Sonny. And Diane says, oh, nope. That's a negative. If you ask Sonny, that paper trail leads back to him. That's going to link you two together, and they're going to start really diving into Sonny's business and to Sonny's dealings. No. So Jocelyn says, I have a trust fund. And she goes, no, Jocelyn, no, I'm not going to let you do that. She goes, Mom, I want to help you. No, Jocelyn, right? So she goes, well, then ask Michael. And so Diane says, look, Michael managed to get out of this unscathed. If Michael lends you the money, it's going to open the door for the SEC to now look into him, because he was on the board of ELQ and he worked for Aurora. She goes, oh, no, yeah, oh, yeah, no, say no more. So she's like, oh, no, my son, no, right? And then she says, you can't take money from anybody, pretty much, really. And the reason why they did this stiff fine, because Carly goes, that would wipe out everything. I won't even have money for property taxes. Well, see, here's the thing. Sonny could pay the property taxes. I'm sorry. His child lives there. Period. And you don't have to deposit that in Carly's account. Just pay the property taxes. Period. All right. His account to the property tax account. So anyway, Carly, she tells Jocelyn, look, Jocelyn, it's up to me to figure it out. Because she goes, what are you going to do? She goes, look, I'm Carly Spencer. And Diane left. She says, I arrived here with nothing. She says, and I ended up on top. She says, I was hoping I would be able to get my hotel back. And I'm thinking, how? How did you think in this whole year you're going to get your hotel back? I don't know, right? Didn't look like Nina wanted to sell it. So how are you getting it back, Carly? So she told Jocelyn, I'll get a job. I'm Carly Spencer. So something will land in Carly's lap. It always does. It always lands in Carly's lap, in her favor. But look, I don't know what she could do that's going to give her 5 million. Well, that's going to give her the amount of money to replenish her coffers after she pays that 5 million out. Because come on, Carly's not CEO material. I mean, yes, she ran a good hotel with Olivia, but she was good as a mob boss. But Come on now, she can't go back into mob boss land because Sonny has his seat back. Plus, the SEC will really look at, wait, huh? Where you getting that money from, right? So anyway, Drew tells Scout that he's got to go to prison. And, he actually explained it real well, because I guess he had already told her daddy had done something wrong at work, and the judge didn't like it. So now he's got to go to jail. And he didn't say 3 years, but he goes for a while. And Scout's like, oh no. So she's like, well, can I come to visit you? Like I came to visit mommy? And Sam was like, every weekend, baby, rain or shine. Because he goes, I don't know if she goes, I visited mommy. And so they're hugging, and I'm thinking, I forgot. Sam was in Pittenville? For what? So daily recap, folks. Tell me when Sam went to prison. Because Sam told Drew because he goes, Tracy ends up saying, hey, Scout, let's go look at those flowers. Show me those flowers. Right? So she takes Scout out, and Doctor's like, are you sure you should bring Scout? She goes, she was much younger than this when she came to see me. She came all the time. Oh, and I was thinking, why don't I remember that? So somebody tell me the storyline that landed Sam in jail. And then we have, while Sonny's gone, because Ava calls Sonny, Avery is gone. First, I thought, oh, this was Ava's plan, but I was thinking, boy, she's really playing looking scared really well, because she really was scared. Remember, Austin was putting in her mind that Mason would do something to Avery. So Pilar turned her back for a moment, and Avery was gone, right? So Sonny gets there, and he's like, what happened? And he's got his men looking, and Chase says, look, I have my men looking, Sonny. I don't need you to interfere with the investigation. He goes, let me tell you something. My men are looking too, because first and foremost, I'm a father, and I'm gonna look for my child. And Chase doesn't say anything, right? He goes, well, just look, a lot of other elements could be coming into play because of you. So we need to make sure you don't impede the search. And Sonny just looks at him. He goes, you handle your men and I'll handle mine, right? And Pilar's like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Corinthos, just a second. And I turned around and she was gone. And so all of a sudden you hear this, and look who's here, or Chase sees her or something. And they turn around and Austin's walking up holding Avery. Avery's got a balloon. And Ava's looking at him. And Austin says, I was doing my daily run around the lake like I always do. And look who I saw over at the lake looking at balloons. And I looked around and I did not see any adults with her. So I thought something was odd. So she's met me before. So I asked her, would it be okay if I took her back to, the adult that brought her here? So she said, yeah. So here we are. And Ava's just looking, and Sonny says, Avery, what happened? Oh, I saw a bunch of balloons being let up in the air, and I wanted to know where they came from. So I walked over to the lake. She did walk over there, but they set that whole stage up to get Avery to come over there. And so Sonny's like, and Ava's like, never to walk away. And Sonny says, Avery, that's never going to happen again. You know better than that. You know better. I know, Daddy. So he tells Ava, look, you finish with the police. I'm going to take her home with me. You come by and get her when you're done. And Ava goes, okay. So Pilar says, Mr. Corinthos. No, Sonny then walks over to Pilar. He said, listen, Pilar, this better not ever happen again. You don't ever take your eyes off of my daughter. I'm so sorry, sir. My phone rang, and in the caller ID said grandma. But when I answered it, it was a telemarketer. She's like, she thought something happened to her grandmother, right? And she says, and then when I turned around, Avery was gone. So I'm thinking, boy, Avery must have booked running after them balloons. Because look, 2 seconds, I look, see it's grandma. Hey, grandma. Although I don't know why I got to turn my back to the child I'm watching, right? But when she turned around, she should have seen her running over the horizon over there, right? Avery, where you going? You know, Avery did a disappearing act. I don't know, was it over a quick hill or something? And I don't know, right? So she goes, it'll never happen again, sir. And so Sonny leaves and she goes over to Ava. She says, Miss Jerome, I am so sorry. Ava looks at her. She goes, I don't want to talk to you right now. We will talk about this tomorrow. And she goes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so Chase says, can I give you a lift home? So he's going to give Pilar a lift home, right? I'm thinking, well, shoot, Pilar brought Avery to the park. Pilar has a car. Let Pilar drive herself home. So anyway, Austin Catshire or Catshire smile. Was it Catshire cat smile on his face? It's a good thing I happened to come along, isn't it? Ava looked at him. She hauled off and she slapped him into next Tuesday. Right? And she said, it was you. You did this. And he looked at her like, because see, Ava's thing is, you don't ever do anything to my daughter, with my daughter. You don't ever put any plan into place that revolves or involves my daughter without telling me so I could be prepared. That's what they're going to talk about tomorrow, watch. Because see, now she knows, wait a minute. Ava, I think, is going to start to figure out something's up with Austin and Mason. Something is up, right? She's not as stupid as they're making her. So we'll see how far they get. So let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. Richard says, another great daily recap. Lady. Look, another great review, daily recap, lady. Yes, Martin is definitely suspect when it comes to the deceptor. Ava needs to tell Sonny about Mason and Austin so he could deal with them accordingly. Darlene says, Valentine is good with anyone, and Anita agrees. He is a wonderful actor. Lee says, did you not see Nicholas in the bed where the guy moved him? He is still alive. Well, yeah, we all know Nicholas is still alive, and we knew when Mason made the phone call to whatever person he took him for. It was Mason was right there with Nicholas, so we all have known Nicholas was alive forever. But here's the funny thing: remember initially when they were trying to take away Marcus, what's the name, Marcus Coma as Nicholas? They wanted him to go on a break, and they said, oh, only about 3 months. It's been way longer than 3 months, y'all. It's been about almost 6, right? So as an actor, I could see I may not want to take a hiatus for 6 months. That really affects the paycheck. Oh, I was going to say something nice about the actor. I was going to say, especially since he didn't do that good a job. But you know what? Maybe it's the way they wrote his character. Spineless. Couldn't do nothing right. Okay. Didn't like that, this Nicholas. Sandy says the writers are trying different storylines for Austin. and none have worked. I've lost interest. Spencer needs to turn that evidence on Esme and on Esme. She is back to evil Esme and is up to something wicked. Trina is no match for Esme. And then Anne says, I'm bored with all the crazy storylines. Get back to the normal General Hospital. Chrissy says, okay, that show that he, meaning the actor that plays Valentine, is on is Villains. And it's on the Disney Channel. I kind of thought it was the Disney Channel. I knew it was some channel that had, those stupid canned laugh lines where somebody goes, oh, hey, and then you get the studio laughs. Ridiculous. And everybody's got to do all kind of over dramatiz. I just saw half a few seconds of that show and kept going. Michelle says, Chase told Brooklyn about Nina. Yes, he did yesterday. I forgot to mention that. She was on the footage, but she left the scene of Ned's accident to go see Sonny. Well, he can't say to go see Sonny because he doesn't know where Nina went. Dex found Ned and brought him back to Sonny's because he had just spoken to Nina. I think Nina told him to go. She's suggesting, but lied to Sonny and said she tried to stop him. And then Dex comes right in, right on time. But I don't feel sorry for Nina because she is trying to get rid of Ned because he knows about what she did. Martin Gray and Nina were talking about her being the one who sent the SCC after Carly and Drew before his accident. The truth will come out. The storyline is dragging too long. It needs to end soon so they can move on to better things. They better not drag this out nearly as long as they did the whole Sonny and Nixon Falls. They better not. Lisa says Martin has been married several times. Yes. Lisa also says one of Brooklyn's job duties for Tracy is to find out if they have any new ideas and how they made the Deceptor. Yolanda says maybe Tracy and Martin are trying to get the patent to get the money for his crazy wife. No. Martin wouldn't do anything to hurt his Lucy. He loves his Lucy. Yolanda says, is it strange? Is it strange? Find a wife's hair on a husband's body. I know. Come on now. Exactly. It incriminates Mason too. Alicia says, what's wrong with Ava? She put a gun on her own brother more than once. Why isn't she dealing with Mason is beyond me, especially when it comes to Sonny's daughter. And Sandy says, you're right. Or couldn't she just tell Sonny about Mason? Yes, she could. Richard says to Sandy, facts. I mean, really, this is ridiculous how Ava's floundering, but you know what? Ava's getting some just desserts right now. She really is. Shaletta says that guy never came around while it's Austin bringing up his name, and he told her the little girl would be kidnapped. And look at what happened. They're going to blame the nanny. And Lisa says, poor Pilar, she loves little Avery. That crazy Mason is going to send some creepy girl to be her nanny and tell Ava to hire her. Well, Ava can't hire her. Sonny, well, yeah, Sonny has to. Pilar doesn't work for Ava. She's taking care of Ava's daughter. But when Avery's with Ava, Pilar's not there. Pilar's there when she's with Sonny. And I don't know, is she ever there with Ava? They just never said. I know when Avery used to live with Carly, Pilar was there. Why Austin and Mason think Ava has any decision-making authority over Sonny is beyond me. I know that's really stupid. And Danelda says, I think Nina and Valentine had good chemistry. Yes, they did. Medora says, I think Martin stole the idea of the Deceptor. Nah, I don't think so. Ron says, Olivia is beyond pushy. She needs to cut Ned a break and give him space to heal. All she's doing is pushing him away. Austin and his cousin are playing mind games with Ava. Something tells me There is no big boss. It's just their way to break Ava down. And then rubbing alcohol is a powerful solvent that can break down paint and make it easy to remove from surfaces. Well, guess what? I mean, maybe it is, Ron, but it should also be removing the black paint off the door too, right? Seriously, the only way I know to take care of that door is to paint over that red with more black paint. Lisa says, Ava is in this mess way over her head. I've never heard of any type of alcohol that removes paint. Yeah, okay, I'm with you, Lisa. Lisa also says, between Olivia and Tracy, I'm sure he wants to run. I think Brooklyn is going to call Lois for help because he has few memories of her. Well, actually, the bulk of his memories will be of Lois. So he'll have very fond memories of Lois because even as Eddie Main, him and Lois were together. Olivia is going to push him further away. She is not stopping to think about anything. She is not helping anything. I hope Nina enjoys him living at Sonny's place, LOL. Well, you see how Nina today was subtly putting in his mind how small potatoes staying in Port Charles is, where if he goes to a bigger city, he could really chase fame. But you don't want to do that, do you, Eddie? See, she just knew she twisted his mind around because he goes, you've given me something to think about. And then Sonny came in with Avery, right? And so Nina takes Avery to the back and is eavesdropping on Sonny and Ned. And Ned says, you know what? I thought about your offer and I decided, and Nina just knew he was going to leave, that a bird in the bush is worth nothing in the bushel. I don't know, whatever he said. Either way, what he was saying is, at least you're going to be a sure thing. I could go to Vegas, LA, any big city and not land nothing, not a label, not nothing, right? And so he shakes Sonny's hand. He goes, you got yourself a deal. And Nina's just looking around the corner, squinting her eyes like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't, right? So Lucy says, hello, hello, Daily Recap Lady. I agree with you. Olivia needs to step up and get her groupie on. Now, if Olivia and others do what the doctor said to do and not to do for Eddie Main, we can move along and hope Eddie gets his memories back. Well, that's it for Comment Corner. Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.